go do some grinding.
Let's go do some grinding. Valentine's Day was last week, Kelly.
I've just driven down from Glasgow to here in Preston, which is where Tartybikes is based. Actually, really quite stoked with this colour. I used to love doing this bit. We're onto something here. Black and pink's nice.
Rolling the bars backwards and forwards, so if you want to go longer, you've got longer.
And that's what it looks like afterwards. Right, before we finish up the brakes, I just thought we'd throw the cranks on now. If you remember, they were looking pretty tatty with a home spray job. So we've just got a bit of acetone and some elbow grease, and we're just getting these polished up. Alright, well that is the cranks on. Now I've actually reused the cranks because they're Middleburns and actually really nice cranks. Now that I've got rid of the paint, they've polished up pretty nicely as well. And yeah, a lot of competition trials bikes these days will actually run an 18-tooth front freewheel rather than this 22-tooth and rear freewheel. But again, keeping to a budget, this works, so I'm going to stick with it. Maybe in the future I might go for a front freewheel setup and explain some of the benefits, why you might want to do that. But for now, sticking with the Middleburns because yeah, they're just pretty good.
And just start putting the mounts on so we can clamp the brake to the frame. Cool, so that's on. Are you thinking of trying some different brake pads? You think you're going to maybe put a grind on the back wheel and then...
So the brake pads that came with it, what do you think? These are original Zoo pads?
I think they could be Zoo pads, yeah. I mean, it's like green colour, it's a sort of texture, and the finish on it looks like a Zoo pad. It's obviously rock hard now because it's really old.
No, don't say that because I'm going to sell them on eBay for like 50 quid. Let's put some new pads in.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's going to go back a bit. I think they're on line pads, unfortunately. It's got the grooves cut in them.
Oh.
So they're not 50 quid, sorry.
So when I stopped riding competitions, I think Cox Browns were about some of the best pads you could get, and then TNN was starting to make pads as well.
So Cox Browns were made by a chap called Thierry Klinkenberg, who was an ex-trials rider in Belgium, and TK pads still make Cox Browns.
No way.
As well as the yellows that he also did.
Yeah.
There's those TK pads, or there's actually some Coos pads.
Oh, Couste?
Yeah, legendary.
I remember those being like the ultimate pads that people were trying to sell their teeth to get.
Yeah, basically, and now he's made them available, like, so you can actually buy. You know, we've got good stock of them, so...
I always wanted to try a set.
There you go. And they're a cool green colour, so that'll go really nice with your frame.
Yeah, maybe.
give them a try?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I've always wanted to try some, yeah, let's go for them.
Wicked.
Now that I've kind of got the brakes sorted, it's time to get some wheels sorted. A bit like the cranks, sticking with the hubs because they're good quality. These are old hubs, they're the first generation of Hope Pro 2s, I think. But they're reliable, it works. It's a good quality hub and bearings, yeah.
Mega smooth, amazing, really good, yeah.
We need to get some new tyres.
Yeah, if you have an MOT, I think that'll fail on cracked sidewalls there, mate.
Yeah, but we can get rid of all these cogs. I only need one. I believe 18 tooth to go with the 22 on the front.
Yeah, it's about the right sort of ratio.
Same as I run on my Hex, so we get rid of the tyre and get a single cog in the back, either a single speed kit or whatever. Yep. And also, rather than using this big heavy mech as a tensioner, we're going to get something else, hopefully.
Yeah, we've got something in stock that'll do the job for that, yeah.
Right, what do you reckon? Should we go have a look at some tyres?
Yeah, go and have a look, yeah. See what we got and go from there.
Nice one.
Cool. As far as we know, the clean and the Jitsi tyres are very similar to the old trial that you liked a lot.
Oh really?
Just with the Kevlar beads, so they're a bit lighter. So that could be an option.
Is that the front one?
That's the front one, yeah.
Oh, I quite like the Meteor, the tread going on in this as well.
Yeah, I think so. Some of the tyres now, they try and pinch weight by making the tread blocks really small. Yeah. So you save weight because there's physically less rubber, but it means that you don't get much wear life out of the tyre. Yeah. At least with this, it's got a bit of height on the tread block. Yeah.
So let's go for one of these and a Kaiser.
Cool.
I reckon, then.
Wicked. Good choice.
Now I'm sure some of you know I am tubeless on my street trials bike on my Hex. I'm not going to go tubeless on this for now. It's maybe something I might try in the future, but it certainly should be doable despite the rim being a drilled rim with the massive weight-saving holes. And done right with the right taping, you can still seal a rim with as many holes as this. So in theory, should be doable. I'm not doing it now for money reasons, time reasons, mess reasons, equipment reasons, but yeah, that's an experiment for the future, I think. Let's go do some grinding.
Let's go do some grinding. Valentine's Day was last week, Kelly. Cool, right, we'll carry on, finish this off, and then we'll go and bob the tyre on and then try the Popeye method of holding the tyre out of the way. This is the old surface, hopefully you can see it glinting in the light. And if you get your fingernail and just run it along it, it's basically just smooth. So with a grind, you can see it's kind of like lots of little micro sort of troughs and peaks. There's a lot more friction going on there.
Yeah.
For trials on the back wheel, we'd often swap the tyre around and run it the opposite way to the manufacturer recommends. And then you've got the flat section on the knobbles trying to hook up to the obstacle you're going up.
Yeah, because often our grip is backwards, isn't it, rather than forwards?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You're trying to hang off something rather than go down something. So no direction on this tyre. Trial specific tyre, so they sort of make them to work both ways, because obviously we grip both ways, so no consideration for that, just fire it on. Yeah. So yeah, one-handed grinding with the tyre on. So the advantage of doing this is that you don't get all the release agent and gunk from the tyre and the tube on the rim sidewall, which reduces your braking performance.
Tensioners. Now this is something I want some advice about.
Okay.
Now I made my tensioner on my Inspired.
Oh, that's right, your little titanium thing you
yeah,
do.
I
was
did
it like Sugru or something, like gungy stuff?
It's just some like weird nylon-y stuff. Confession, everyone, my idea for my tensioner on my Inspired wasn't entirely original to me. There has been a brand that has a tensioner out which is a little bit similar, and I believe you guys do.
We do have that tensioner that you're talking about. However, this is like a V3 version of what they did before.
So the original one was a
74 Kings, was a German brand, yeah. But it was similar to yours. It had like a skid rather than a wheel.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool bit of kit. Nice and simple and worked well. But Heatsink do like a sprung version of this with a little jockey wheel. So you get a bit of give in that, which provides you the chain tension, and that clamps in the rear axle, I think. Yeah. Yours mounts onto the frame mount on the Inspired.
Right, yeah.
Dropout, doesn't it? But that mounts over your rear axle, so you clamp it between the frame and the hub. So you've got all the articulation you need. Little bit of chain line adjustment on the slot. Pretty neat. You're also wondering about possibly using one of the double wheel tensioners we have, the spring tensioner, or?
Because I think the frame's got 375mm chainstays, which kind of, I don't know how baggy that'll leave the chain with a 22-18 ratio.
Maybe we should put the chain on first and see how it looks.
Let's do that.
The single wheel tension, obviously, it pulls down, and if you're having to move it down a long way, it's going to stop the chain from wrapping around the rear sprocket, and then it can skip. So,
right. Well, I will need a chain then, please.
Chain-wise, lots of choice. Some of them are way too big, they're like moped chains, and we don't really recommend them. People want them because they want something that's completely like peace of mind, really solid. But there's a KMC chain, which is very popular on sort of single speed bikes and for trials bikes, which is nice and simple, light, strong, don't tend to break, and they're pretty cheap, like 12-14 quid. So
I think that's the one I tend to use. So
yeah, we all use that one here as well. So
yeah,
good to go.
I'm happy to go with that one.
Cool. So we were 47.5mm from the logo on the hub. Puts us about pretty much bang in the middle of the free up.
Yep.
So spacer on. Sprocket on. Spacer on. And then obviously the spacer needs to be slightly sticking out over the free up so the lock ring can tighten it down. Just a bit of a nip just to hold it in place, really, especially if you've got like an aluminium spacer like this. You could end up flaring the spacer and cracking it or something, so just a good nip of the ratchet and it should be good to go there.
Cool. So obviously with V-brakes and stuff, they have a quick release, and even Maguras for commuter bikes will have a quick release system. But for extra stiffness, we just bolt the brakes on. There's no quick release here, which means if you do want to take your tyre off, you have to deflate it. Or if you want to take your wheel off, you have to deflate the tyre. Which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but you get better brakes for it. So
it's probably less of a pain than having to reset your brake every time as well.
Yeah.
So, lesser of two evils. like I said before, with the sort of slightly odd chainstay length compared to modern bikes and then an odd gear ratio, it's fallen like exactly in between links. You could maybe get away with a half link, but it's a bit scary. So we're gonna have to join the chain here. So with a single wheel tensioner, you'd be sitting it down quite low, so you might be better off with double wheel.
Yep.
To get the chain up there nice and high.
Makes sense.
Go with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do that.
Important bit to think about is don't push the pin so far that it falls out of the plate. Otherwise, you're stuffed because getting them back in is really tricky. So
I've done that so many times.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's late. There we go. So they've got quite good chain tension, but not so tight that it's going to knacker the tensioner. But yeah,
that's neater, isn't it?
As well.
Much neater than the mech. Oh.
What's the after? That's your before. The bad boy hanging down.
Yeah. Big weight saving, and it's less likely to be hit. So yeah, a good worthy upgrade.
Next,
set up the back brake.
Yep, sounds good. Setting up the brakes can be a bit fiddly, but with the new cylinder washers and grease on the bolts and all the slots sort of filed out, this should be straightforward. What I normally do is don't tighten the bolts up all the way to start with. Get the lever set up how you like it in terms of the amount of travel the lever's got, and then from there we can go and start tightening the bolts down. So that pad is really square with the rim, but if you look at the side, it's actually way too low at the moment, so it needs to be shifted up because it's hanging off the bottom of the rim. I usually just tap with an Allen key because it moves quite nicely that way. We have motion.
Does it honk?
No. Oh, a little bit.
A little bit.
Might be bedding in. One of those trials brake things again where the pad and the rim aren't quite square. It'll kind of go like that. Yeah. But when it's all bedded in together, it's all flush and it'll go.
Oh, those two, they're escaping. It's taking so long to build this thing. All right.
Cheers, guys.
See you later, guys. See you later. We need to fit this front wheel and front brake.
Okey-doke.
Which is a little bit of a pain in the arse one, I'm afraid. Now, some people might be thinking, cable brake? Cable disc brake? What? But yeah, cable disc brakes, especially the Avid models, the BB5 and the BB7, are actually really pretty damn good for trials.
Bit of a semi-minefield, especially with trials bikes. The position of the brake mount relative to the axle. So this is a front. This is an international standard mount, so you've got a fixed distance from here to here and from here to here. Some of the trials forks were made at +20, which means 20mm bigger rotor, so the mount itself is actually 10mm further up the leg. And the same on the rear, some were IS, which is actually further down on the rear than the front. Some were +20, some were +50, some +40. So you can run into a real minefield, and with all the adapters that are available for different types of calipers, you can get stuck. So welcome to give us a shout, and we're happy to, even if we have to point you in the direction of a different mount we don't sell, happy to make sure that you get something that works first time, because we know it's really frustrating to end up with loads of mounts lying around that you're never going to use. So. Yeah. A couple of battle scars, there's one just there where it's been smashed on a wall, a bit of brick dust still in it, so learning to do this is worth doing. Even if you've got a really knackered old rotor, just bolt it onto a hub or a wheel and just have a go at straightening it, and if it gets better, then happy days. You learn something, and you can possibly even do it out in the field. If you've got a little adjustable spanner, it helps you get home with a working brake. There we go.
Nice. I annoyingly lost the barrel adjuster for this brake, so Adam's off to look in the stock. Hopefully we've got a spare one. But while he's doing that, I could just be doing something like putting on my grips. I've got some ODI AG2, the Aaron Gwyn models. These are updated ones with softer compound. These are some of the thinner grips that ODI do, so I quite like thin grips for trials, so yeah, I'm going to stick some of these on. And the reason why I've gone for ODI is because I tend to always go back to ODI for grips as my favourites, but there's also another reason which I'm going to announce in a vlog soon, so keep an eye out for that. Alright, that is the grips fitted. I believe Tartybikes will be getting some of these in stock soon, so if you fancy some ODI Aaron Gwyn grips, you know where to get them.
Does that meet your approval, Mr. Clarkson?
Oh, that feels so good. Oh, I forgot quite how nice cable brakes can be.
They're good, brilliant. Like, it's amazing. People really shy away from them, but it's so light and easy to pull, and you know, it's the word you use is boff.
Yeah.
Boff. You know, the brakes on and off. You can feel it. It feels good. So you're looking for some platforms.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know.
Okay. Oh right. Okay.
So, obviously, I kind of know and like platforms.
Yeah.
And you guys have a range, but it seems like an opportunity to try cage pedals and kind of see
Yeah, why not?
what's going on. So I'm kind of tempted to try. All right then, the bike is off the stand, but it is not ready yet. Oh, but look at it, that is looking so nice. Yeah. Oh, the pink works. It works.
Works really well. It's cool.
It looks like a brand new bike. I need to swap the pedals. I mean, again, these work. We could ride with these, but yeah, the bearings aren't great. The grip isn't good. I'm gonna shin myself if I ride these things.
New cranks, you need to keep on top of the pedal torque quite frequently. If you let the pedal come loose, which happens quite often on Charles' bike, because you're pedaling backwards and forwards, the threads are designed to self-tighten when you're pedaling normally on a bike, but because you pedal backwards a lot, the pedals come loose. Then the pedal gets wobbly in the thread, it wears the thread in the crank, and then you need to either replace the crank or get it repaired. So if you get new cranks on a bike, or a second-hand bike, just keep on top of the tension on the pedals for the first couple of rides. Make sure everything doesn't cause any issues.
Can you guys fix broken like pedal threads?
Yeah, we've got a special kit where you basically drill out the old thread, put a new thread in, put an insert in that reduces the thread size back to the original pedal thread size, and then you can just use it as normal. So we've saved, I think, over 150 or 200 cranks by using that method so far, and it's much cheaper and easier than you know, finding a single crank arm, especially with something like this. You know, really nice crank that you can't get anymore. So it's well worth looking at if you need to repair a pedal thread. Yeah. There we go. I think everything is tight enough and safe enough to hop on.
Nice. Oh, that is a better position. Oh my word. Night and day.
There should be just enough room to get on the bikeway later.
Yeah. Obviously, the front brake needs bedding in. That feels a million times better.
That feels pretty good. I'm really shocked at how good that feels. It's stiff, isn't it, friend?
Yeah.
Really stiff. It's really direct. Feels cool.
The extra length of the stem, definitely the right shot.
Yeah. I'm liking that. Good.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Good to see you
have
happy.
gone above and beyond helping out with this. Yeah, I know you touched on it before. We've both been through some difficult times, but it's been really cool to meet you and have you help out.
Yeah, man.
And ride this
Yeah,
bike.
thanks a lot for coming down. It's nice to spend some time with you. Like I say, it's I've had a tricky few days, and I suffer with a black dog like you do, and I think that's like 20 years worth now of struggling with mental health, and you know we've talked about it, and it really helps. Just having someone to chat to, and I think when you open up, you'd be surprised at how many people support and come forward and say the same thing, or oh my god, I had no idea you felt like that, and you know, a little chat goes a long way, and yeah, thanks man, have a good day.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Alright, so we've weighed it and it weighs 11.18 kilos, which to be fair isn't actually that light. It felt a lot lighter when I picked it up, but yeah, 11.18 is a little bit on the heavy side, but I have got a heavy front brake, a heavy rear tyre, the frame's heavy, the cranks are heavy, the hub's heavy. It's actually got quite a lot of heavy parts on it. I'm happy with the weight, don't get me wrong, I am not particularly looking to get much lighter than this. If I was riding the UCI World Cup, stuff like that, then yes, I'd probably be wanting it to be a lot lighter, but for me, that's happy, that's a good, strong weight.
Echo Pure Mark 5, which is 659 quid.
Yeah.
It's 2 kilos lighter than that.
Is it?
Yeah, with the front disc.
No way.
But it's got paper tyres on it, basically.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable what you can get for the money nowadays.
Yeah. Now, after I've bought some parts, added those to my cheap bike, is it more expensive than...
It might actually be.
With a £300 or £280, let's say, for the bike,
Yeah.
plus parts now.
Yeah. about 415 you've got parts there today.
Okay, so
But it's a lot of parts, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Is it worth buying a used bike and upgrading it, or should you buy just a cheap full bike off the shelf? I'm going to ride this bike, see how we get on with it, and then, yeah, hopefully we'll come up with an answer for you guys. It's not over yet, though. There's actually 2 more things I need to do.
just one more.
No,
Just one more.
2 more. Need to add some these stickers, which I got made nice and silver to try and match some silver parts on that stand out. Can I please have a chainstay protector as well?
Of course you can. There you go.
Nice. Nice. Right, so we're actually interested to know what the geometry of this is. So chainstay length.
Yeah, 375.
375.
Ooh.
Short.
1070.
1070 wheelbase. That is quite short.
That's not bad. Nearly plus 60.
Really?
In the end, yeah. I think it could be something to do with big tyre.
Alright everyone, that is the bike finally built, and it is awesome. Like, obviously I've only done riding indoors in a flat area here, but the bar and stem alone have transformed this bike. Having a back brake that works, I cannot wait to get out and ride this thing, and it looks so good as well. I think the pink works really well. Pink and black looks really nice. A few silver highlights, and even the blue of the hubs don't look too bad. So yeah, so stoked for this. Thank you so much, Adam.
Very welcome.
Again, gone above and beyond helping with this. And yes, really nice to come and see Tartybikes again. So yeah, if you guys are interested in either getting a used bike like this and upgrading it, or if you have an old bike or even a new bike and you just want some new parts, Tartybikes have a great selection. Like I've mentioned earlier, they have worldwide shipping as well. And if you do want a full bike, if you don't want to go down a self-build route, they can offer you many options there as well. Or even do custom build bikes from all the stock they have. If you do have any questions with anything they have, or if you have a bike you need some help with, give them a call. They're happy to help. Obviously you've seen they're really nice guys, so yeah, just don't be scared to phone them up if you have any questions. Okay, so I'm gonna call it there, and you guys know the score. Give the video a like, comment, subscribe if you want to support the channel. I'm trying to get to 100,000 this year, and yeah, even if you've been watching the channel for a while, you just haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, it really would help. If you want to get some merch, aliClarkson.com will get you some. If you want to see some longer, more in-depth videos, then hit up my Patreon. And if you want to donate but you don't want any obligations, then I do accept PayPal donations as well. All of these things will be linked down below, as well as some information about Tartybikes and maybe even some of the parts that I got on my bike. But yeah, everyone, get out, ride your bikes, have fun, and I will get something for you next week if these storms go away. Honestly, it's been nuts here in the UK. I need to get out. I've been getting cabin fever. Hope you're managing to get out, so take care. See you later. See you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.